The Iranian Guardian Council has approved 6 candidates for the 2024 presidential election, including 5 hardliners and 1 reformist. Why does this matter? This move appears aimed at increasing voter turnout by feigning political diversity. However, Iran saw low voter turnout in the March 2024 parliamentary elections. Who are the candidates? They include Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, Saeed Jalili, Amir Hossein Ghazi, Zadeh Hashemi, Ali Reza Zakhani, Mostafapur Mohammadi, and the sole reformist, Masoud Pezeshkian. The presence of 5 hardliners risks splitting the hardline vote, potentially benefiting the reformist candidate. Palestinian fighters targeted Israeli Defense Force positions along the Netzarim Corridor in southern Gaza City on June 10th. What happened? These attacks included at least 5 mortar and rocket strikes aimed at Israeli supply lines. How did Israel respond? The IDF 98th Division continued operations in eastern Deir al-Balah and Bureij, targeting Hamas fighters and destroying underground infrastructure. Additionally, they destroyed a Hamas training compound. What does this mean? The ongoing conflict highlights the continued volatility in the Gaza Strip. Israeli forces have engaged Palestinian fighters across the West Bank in at least 4 locations since June 9th. What's the latest? On June 10th, the IDF and Israeli Shin Bet launched an operation near Tubas, targeting Palestinian fighters. What were the outcomes? The operation led to the detention of wanted individuals, destruction of explosives, and engagement with fighters in the Farah refugee camp. The Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigades also fired small arms and IEDs at Israeli forces. This ongoing conflict in the West Bank remains intense and widespread. Iranian-backed Hezbollah has conducted at least 16 attacks on northern Israel since June 9th. Why is this significant? These include drone strikes and other forms of aggression aimed at Israeli forces. How is Israel responding? The IDF is deploying 20mm Vulcan cannons along the Israel-Lebanon border. What's the broader impact? The increased risk of a major conflict between Israel and Hezbollah looms, as both sides continue to escalate their military actions, potentially drawing in broader regional involvement. On June 8th, the Iranian-backed Iraqi militia, Kataib Saeed al-Shuhada, threatened to resume attacks on U.S. forces if they do not leave Iraq. Why does this matter? This warning follows a broader pattern of Iranian influence in the region. What are the potential repercussions? The U.S. and Iraq are evaluating the status of coalition forces, with potential impacts on regional stability. These developments underline the fragile nature of U.S.-Iraq relations and the ongoing power struggle involving Iran. The World Food Program has paused humanitarian aid through the U.S.-built pier in Gaza following rocket attacks. What happened? 2 World Food Program warehouses were struck by rocket fire on June 8th, injuring 1 person. When will aid resume? The World Food Program expects to resume operations later this week, pending safety assurances. What's the impact? Meanwhile, Palestinian militias continue to conduct indirect fire attacks into southern Israel. This interruption in humanitarian aid underscores the severe impact of the ongoing conflict on civilians. The United States is reportedly considering bilateral hostage talks with Hamas to free Americans from Gaza. Why is this important? These negotiations, facilitated by Qatar, are contingent on the failure of current Israeli ceasefire proposals. What are Hamas's demands? Hamas officials have repeatedly opposed the latest ceasefire terms, insisting on maximalist demands. What's the implication? The political landscape remains tense, with significant implications for regional peace efforts and the lives of hostages. This development highlights the complex nature of negotiating peace in the Middle East.